Hello and welcome back to the garage. Today we're going to talk about this Case 730 tractor. It's oddly enough the first tractor I think I've ever actually bought. So let's get into it and look at it. So as you can tell, this is a Case 730 LP case-o-matic. I'm assuming this has got to be some form of an oddball type tractor, just being the LP plus case-o-matic. Now you Case fans out there might notice some things are wrong. Like those fenders are apparently off of a 930, I think the guy said. And the tin isn't originally from this tractor. And as you can tell, I am missing some little stuff, like my air breather. As you know, that is an oil bath. So it should be okay. I still want to get a pipe or something and then get an actual pre-cleaner on top of there. Now, some things we do have to address before the hay season next year is, for one, the water pump is weeping. So we will probably get a video on that, because I think my plan is take off this front tin, take out the radiator. That way I know the system's flushed and cleaned and good and everything too. Then it'll be easy, I think, to get to that water pump. That'll probably be a springtime project. Obviously, no lights, because, well, why would I have a tractor? Well, I guess the lights do work on that one. But why would I have a tractor with working lights when I'm normally pushing it to nighttime? I can't tell you the year. If somebody out there could help me, that'd be great. But serial tag's gone, so I don't even know if this is like a 731, 32. I don't know enough about cases to know. But it does have the high-low here and not the secondary high-low switch. So I'm assuming it's an early 730, but I could be completely backwards on that as well. Like I said, I don't know enough about these to know. Tires back here, they're round and they're rubber, and they're starting to show their age. Front tires are really good. Does have the, what is it, the Eagle hitch or whatever they call it back here, which I think will actually be really handy. I am missing a center link though, and I do have two hydraulic outlets. Downside is this guy's capped and he's not hooked up. If somebody was smart when they made this hose, they ought to just made that thread pitch the same as this and just screwed it in, and maybe it is. I don't know. Haven't messed with it any. I've only had this thing for a couple weeks and have barely even touched it. Clearly looks like maybe something back here leaks just a little bit. I don't know if that'd be the, well, it shouldn't be the hydraulics. The guy I got it from said he's never used the hydraulics on this. However, he has used the PTO. But when you start it, you can hear the hydraulics try to squeal, you know, like they try to whenever they're wanting to work. And also, one thing I'm not sure if I'm going to love with this thing being a hay tractor in a case is the foot throttle. I'm used to everything else where, you know, that is your throttle, which from what I've seen and everything, that is just to set your idle speed, basically. And obviously, you've got the case-o-matic lever there. So, I think, why don't we just hop on this thing and start her up? Normally, I will say this LP is started very easily. I can give somebody some of the knowledge that I have, which, I'm going to be honest, for LP, very limited. Borderline nothing. I'm just kind of figuring out as I go. Somebody might wonder, you know, why did you get an LP? The horsepower was right and the price was right. Those are my two main things. The guy even had a hose I took with me, so I can refuel it, theoretically. If that all works out, that'll be wonderful, because then I don't have to worry about having a co-op come out and do it. However, that'd be a lot easier than me running propane tanks back and forth. But at least I know in a jam, if I do have a co-op come out and do it, that I can myself put some fuel in it to get me out of the field or finish up for the day, whatever the case might be. But yeah, let's hop on this thing. Let's get her started. So something you guys might notice is a lot of these gauges don't really work, and that's to be addressed in the future. I got to think here. That's not really a clutch, but we're going to push it in like it's a clutch. It throws me off here still, and I got to turn on vapor. And let's go. Oh, I might do two hands to choke it, but we'll see what we can do with one. RPMs tries to move. I wonder if that cable's just bad inside. The miles per hour does move though, but as you can tell, the RPM it tries, but it does not do it. Oil pressure does work, and I have no idea if the temp gauge works. I haven't had it up to temp yet to know. But yeah, for some reason this pedal doesn't want to move, but well, that's why I gotta pull it back. Maybe, I don't know. I'm still learning. But just like a lot of these, this thing, oh, that's what that does. I don't know. Oh, it does hold. I was wrong. This tractor just got so much better in my eyes. I don't have to use the foot throttle. I thought I had to. Power steering does work, but she's a little slow. I really hope that gauge doesn't work, because I've never seen it move, but also it feels like I can't really even push in the pedal right now, which is weird, but I don't know. I said I got some learning to do. I do know, oh, that's why I can't push it in. That feels a lot better. And just like, I feel like most of these case-o-matics do, this one does in fact grind. So I don't like that. I know the guy told me normally if you pop the throttle, then put it into gear, it'll go good, but I don't know. I don't know enough about them. And I will say I do need to, I don't really need this thing running anymore. But I do need to change, oh shoot. I forgot, this is a shutdown sequence that I kind of forget about. I want to shut that off and then let it kill itself. Something I forgot about was you're supposed to do it that way. See, that's pretty much the tractor. I said if anybody knows a different place to see where the serial tag is supposed to be other than right here where it's not, let me know. Another reason this thing does also shift hard is the case-o-matic oil is currently a little milky. Not the worst, but definitely needs changed. So I want to use them and let this thing warm up and go ahead and once it gets warm, change that oil. Engine oil where it looks great. So the engine sounds great. I'm not concerned about that at all. Case-o-matic worries me a little bit just because it's new territory for me. But knowing that that thing does more than just an idle and I can actually just hit it down like a normal tractor and run throttle that way is awesome. But yeah, clearly I need to get a tack. I don't really remember, but that might be the tack right there, and maybe it's just hitting this and vibrating. So I got to figure out where that goes. If I don't want to deal with it, I might just get cheap automotive tack. I have thought about doing that. Then I can see my RPMs. I'll know right where I'm running stuff at. It won't be an issue there. Temp gauge, I need to make sure it works because that's an important one to have. I don't think, yeah, the Ford never had one. If it overheated, I knew it was hot. I wish that was more of a joke, but regardless, the nice part about this is now I'm gonna have, you know, a baling tractor, mowing tractor, raking tractor, and hopefully in the future I could continue to upgrade and downgrade the tractors actually to where this tractor would go from maybe, you know, baling to mowing. And the Ford would go down to a raking tractor. 40 really wouldn't have a home then here. I definitely wouldn't get rid of it. It's a good tractor. It'd be a great spare in case something happened to the Ford and I had to use it. Because I've baled with that 40 before on that Ford baler. It's not a good time. I don't recommend it, but in a pinch, someone can do it. Like I said, we're gonna have some more videos over this. I do feel like there's not a whole lot of videos out there there's a lot of videos out there about case 730s, but not a lot of them about the issues that I have and the things I'm curious about, such as what kind of oil do you put in a case-o-matic transmission? If you try to look that up, you will get at least 2 to 3 solid different answers. Everyone says Hi-Tran. There's some other case oil. Not a case guy. I don't know what it is. And then there's ATF, and you do get some 10W engine oil. I think we're going to put it back in high trans just because that's what I'm going to have around for everything else, and I think that's just the most simple option. And it does sound like there's one way to put oil in the torque converter itself and another way to put it in the case itself. I don't understand that still, but I've got all winter to figure it out. I do know I'm going to get this thing warmed up one of these days, drop that oil, change it. There probably won't be a video on it because I don't understand it well enough. Maybe the second or third time I do service it, then we'll get into that a little bit better. But as for other repairs, probably will make one over the water pump. It's a water pump. It can't be much different than anything else. Basically unbolt it, make sure your impeller's good and everything's tight. I'm not sure if these are rebuildable or not. Never dealt with it. Probably not going to try to rebuild it myself. I'd rather just throw a new one on and be done with it. It might cost a little bit more, but it might save me a lot of time. This Eagle 3-point hitch, not familiar with that at all either. I do know this one's missing some parts, such as, let me turn you guys around. This one does have the locking collar there. This one is missing that piece. It would just go right on the outside here. The guy told me whenever he had that issue, he just, when it went ahead, he'd put a bolt back here with some washers on it, then it wouldn't go anywhere. So I do need a center link. Do not know if hydraulics work. Just a bunch of little things the guy before me never used, which clearly he must have used this some. I don't know, this gear might be stripped, no. But, and I think this thing needs a really good greasing. Like I said, I noticed there's some little spots that have been greased. Looks like with marine grease. But like I've been saying, I'm fully open to any help and or suggestions anybody has, because like I said, this all new territory to me. I understand it for the most part, but a lot of it's new. And I think it'll be a good tractor for me. Let's hope at least. Because I said, I've driven this thing very little so far. Basically, it went from that guy's shop. I drove it around a little bit, so did he. With the water pump weeping, we really didn't want to run it too much and potentially hurt something or get it too hot. I do understand that would take a while, but either way, I'm not willing to take that chance on a tractor that I'm going to try to rely on this spring to give this old Ford here a little bit of a break so it's not being worked too hard. And basically drove it off the trailer, set it here, and I have attempted to put fuel in it now once, and it worked good. So it's only at 20%. Also, don't ask me why you're supposed to shut off the LP to kill it. I don't know. That's what everyone says to do. I'm assuming you just don't want the vapors to sit in the line and or leak out. I don't know. Maybe it's a pressure thing. I honestly have no idea. But regardless, I'm excited to see how this thing does. I know it should have plenty of power for this baler and hopefully anything I want to try to do in the near future, because obviously I am attempting to upgrade equipment as time goes on so that I can do everything more efficiently. At some point in time, it'd be real nice and real efficient to be able to get a hay rack and someone to ride it. That would be beautiful. Because then I wouldn't have to drop it on the ground, go pick it up, take it in my trailer, go stack it by myself. If I get somebody just to run the rack or even someone to run the rake, that'd be beautiful. And luckily, this thing has, well, the Ford and this thing both have. The 40 and this thing both have some minor issues that you just kind of have to know about. And hopefully if this thing takes over a little bit of the work, then I can maybe put a little bit more time into these two. Because like I said, the 40 and the Ford are both capable of doing both of the jobs that they've been doing. And both of them can run the baler if needed. So I'm hoping that if, there's something that's really been bothering them on either of these tractors, that I could, hey, let's take this cutting off for, let's say, the 40, and I want to address the steering that is super frickin' loose on it, to where if you're in road gear going down the road, it's not safe. So you can't go full bore. If that was a thing that would ever happen in a 70-year-old tractor. But, yeah. Like I said, this is the Case 730, case-o-matic LP. Like I said, if anybody wants to help me out with any ideas or knowledge on this, I'm all ears. Like I said, I understand the whole tractor side of it. That part doesn't scare me any, but LP is different, case-o-matic is different, and that is half the tractor right there. So, but like I said, overall, I think it's a good one. And also with it grinding, I know it was cold. If you warm up, that's supposed to also help, is what I've heard. Like I said, I don't know, but I am interested to see how that case-o-matic works with the baler. I think it'll be a really neat system, just because, there's times when I'm running with this Ford and I hit a big piece and it's like, man, I wish I could just push on those brakes and just slow down just a little bit so I'm not pushing the clutch in and basically stopping. Where at this case-o-matic, you know, I can be in any gear. If I press the brakes, it slows down because it has a torque converter, not a clutch, just like your car if it's an automatic, except this thing's in gear, but it runs like an automatic transmission. It's screwy, it's neat, and I think it'll work well. Assuming all of it's fine. I don't know. But like I said, there's a lot of people out there that know a ton about these, and hopefully I can get the right people and pick their brain and get ideas. But like I said, I'm going to try to put high trans in there, and I know people who run ATF are going to say, no, you put ATF in there. And people who run high trans are going to be like, yeah, that sounds good. Just like if I put ATF in there, people who run high trans be like, that's silly, why don't you put high trans in there? Because I've also heard different things that area where the torque converter is, that it is connected to the same area and same hydraulic pump as the hydraulics, and I've also heard they're different cavities as well. Like I said, those are just places I don't know enough to know, and I haven't got a book on this thing yet, so whenever I do, I'll have some learning to do. But I think I'm going to go ahead and call it here because I have rambled for probably 20 minutes within this entire video, I'm betting, so don't worry, I'll cut some of that out. But anyways, like I said, if anybody has any information or knowledge on this thing, don't be afraid to comment. I am, like I said, all ears, and I won't take any of it to heart, probably. But let's find out. Anyways, thanks for watching. Till the next one.